Help! I fell through the floor. Blame, Armin, and Buck walked to the hole and looked down at me. Need help? What does it look like? One of them called Marlowe and lowered a rope down the broken part of the floor, and I grabbed it. I felt something slither and brush against my leg, and I screamed. Oh, heck no. Before taking out my knife and stabbing the thing wrapping itself around my leg, which was a small, snake-sized drone larva, the creature shrieked and slowly went limp. Ah, I yelled, pull me up. Just as they had started to pull me up with the rope, a larva leaped out of the black goo and clamped onto my shoulder. I immediately let go of the rope and grabbed the thing, and slammed it into the wall and stabbed the heck out of it. Catch. Blame threw a large hunting knife down the hole and I caught it, as 2 drone larvae jumped out at me and I sliced them both in one slash, making the most bad moment of the lockdown. Hearing all the commotion, a large drone busted down the door and screeched as it saw me. Pull me up, I screamed. With one last tug, my classmates pulled me up and I was pulled back to the second floor. Marlowe rushed into the room holding a week old beer and a shotgun, and he blasted the heck out of the drone in the classroom downstairs. Once the adrenaline had slowed down enough, I could form words again. I almost died. Yeah, you almost did, but you didn't, eh? Marlowe said. Couldn't argue with that. Marlowe dropped a makeshift grenade, a can of WD-40 duct taped to a gasoline-soaked rag, into the classroom, and blew up the nest below when we walked out of the teacher's lounge. While walking in the middle of the hallway, checking classrooms and checking off which places hadn't been infested, we heard some talking come from a classroom that we hadn't checked yet. It was about 15 meters out in front of us, and the person talking sure as heck wasn't us, because everybody in our group was with us and I recognized that voice. It was, without a doubt, the voice of Lawrence. He was probably talking to a drone in that mumbo-jumbo language. Yes, I know, these stupid kids keep messing around and keep messing everything up. We need to establish this for the rise of the king. Don't worry, we'll take care of them. Lawrence nodded and walked out of the classroom with Ryan and walked out of sight, probably going back to his headquarters. All armed, we went into the classroom where Lawrence was just talking to the drowned and found nothing. No one was there. Like there wasn't even a single sign of a drone or another monster. No tracks, no moved objects, nothing. How was it possible? We had clearly heard Lawrence talking to somebody or something and had clearly heard that something reply. And the possibility that we were all going crazy and hearing the same thing was very low. It wasn't like a 500-pound drone could just disappear. It also wasn't like we could do anything about it. So we collectively agreed to. Nah, this is too weird for me. And we continued, finishing off the second floor. Deciding where to camp out was a struggle. It was hard to find a place that wasn't covered in black goo or bodies, and a place that was also on the third and last floor. When I opened the door, just like a repeat of the day before, a huge drone leaped out like a predatory cat, and I dodged and placed a shotgun round deep in its head. Is it ever going to stop? Probably not, Marlowe said. Now keep on going, we need to find a place to sleep. After much searching, we settled down in one of the larger classrooms, one without any of the things that I mentioned. We started a small fire in the middle of the classroom and sat around it. The warm light of the fire cast eerie shadows along the walls, giving the creepiest vibe in the world. Marlowe, have you ever heard of this cult before? Their leader, the person they're trying to summon? I asked, eating an expired bag of chips. No, he said, but I think I have a pretty good idea on what this Kala Tagathliku fellow is. Really? I asked. Yeah, he continued. So when I was stuck on that Antarctica alien city, that George guy was talking about the deities and mentioned one that took up residence on Earth, but was trapped deep beneath the ocean floor. I think he mentioned Kala Tagathliku when he was talking about it, Dang, I wish I could talk to him again, he was so weird. That city, what did the creatures there look like? I asked. Oh, some of them were like tiny scorpion monsters and others were giant masses of rotting flesh, spider legs, tentacles, and eyes. That's so interesting, but I'm getting tired. By the way, thanks for saving my butt so much, Marlo. Anytime, kid. I turned around, put the fire out, and went to sleep beside Blame, who was talking about weed in his dreams. I woke up and the classroom that we camped out in was silent. Everybody was asleep, including Marlo, but not me because I was an early riser. It was about 6 in the morning, but it was good to get an early start since it was the last day that we would explore and clear the 3rd floor. I shook Blame. What? He asked groggily. Wake up. Let's go. After waking everybody in our group, we ate breakfast, some granola bars and a bunch of expired chips, and walked outside. The first thing we did was check on the classroom that we had heard the weird disembodied voice in and clear the room. There's nothing here, Buck said. Of course not, I replied. Whatever Lawrence was talking about probably hauled his happy butt right out of here. One of the classrooms, a large chemistry room with beakers and weird liquids, was up for easy grabs. A few flammable liquids and acidic liquids could be turned into bombs, and we raided the heck out of the place. While I was stuffing a container of bleach into my supply bag, something about 500 pounds jumped outside, presumably from these ceiling vents or somewhere else, and began crawling on the floor in a dog-like fashion. It scared the absolute crap out of me. What is that? I yelled. What is what, player? Blame asked. There's something outside. I picked up my shotgun. That's when the thing outside passed right by the door. To nobody's surprise, it was a regular warrior drone, dragging some poor unconscious sap down the hallway to the gym. Our group stepped outside with a stupid amount of firearms, and that's when we found the problem. Is that thing carrying a kid? To answer Marlo's question, the thing turned around, holding the kid in its tendrils. This one must have been smarted because it knew that we couldn't shoot it with the risk of hitting the kid. While holding the kid, the warrior drone approached us growling. We only had one spear left and a few knives, the biggest one being the Bowie knife that Blame had thrown to me back when I had fallen through the floor. I'll take this one, Marlo volunteered. We cheered as he picked out the Bowie knife as the warrior drone leaped at him. I distinctly remember somebody yelling, "Holy crap!" I think it was me, honestly, as the monster swatted Marlo away as he slashed at it. Marlo got one good stab into the creature before he was knocked away. I grabbed the spear and threw it at the monster, narrowly missing the kid and hitting the thing in the side. While it was wounded, I took out a pistol and stuck it against the drone's neck, and fired 3 shots. The monster didn't die immediately like I had hoped. Instead, it froze for a few seconds, then went limp and dropped the kid. Is it dead? Blame asked. And then the thing talked. It partly spoke in very broken and distorted English, but I was able to roughly make out all the words. It said out loud, "Claw to Goth the Q will rise again." I immediately recognized the words as part of that mumbo-jumbo language that the cultists in the drone spoke, and especially the words "Claw to Goth the Q." Then with surprising force, the dying warrior drone grabbed me with one of its crab-like legs and flung me across the hallway, and I landed right on my ankle. I screamed out in pain. Now that the warrior drone had dropped the unconscious kid, what is it with drones and unconscious kids? Everybody obliterated the thing with our many guns. The bullet-riddled body of the warrior drone fell and slumped against the floor. What the heck does "Kala to Goth the Q will rise again" mean? I asked to no one in particular, and then the pain came back.